Tam Talks explores life, spirituality, and general weirdness through quirky storytelling and laughter, lighting you up in your life journey. Let's go! Welcome back to another episode of Tam Talks. Today, I am going to tell you a story about a bear. And to preface this, if you don't know already, I live in southern Ontario in Canada. However, I was born in northern Ontario outside of a place called North Bay. So we have relatives who are a relative who lived just south of North Bay. So when we moved down to the Greater Toronto area, when I was 5, every year we would keep going up every summer and visit our good friends and also my Uncle Charlie on the way, who has since passed. I love him so much. He was, oh my gosh, amazing. So anyways, he lived in this place called Sundridge, which is out in the middle of the forest up north, and he legit lived in like this beautiful log cabin with the like cathedral ceilings and a loft. Like, it was beautiful there, and right across the street from this big lake, I think it's Lake Mikisew, because we always joked about the Mikisew monster, which would be kind of like the Loch Ness from Scotland. But anyways, I digress. So my mom, my brother, and I were stopping. I don't know if we were on our way up to our friend's place in North Bay or on the way back from, but we stopped because we would always do that. We'd stop and stay with my Uncle Charlie for a couple of nights, and we would work in, because it was about a 4.5 hour drive from where we had moved to down by Toronto. So when we went up north, we made it, like a thing. We would visit people kind of along the way. So anyways, this was one of those times. And so my Uncle Charlie had an Irish setter, Clancy, I remember, for the longest time. And they would always go for walks in the morning. So this time in particular, it was the morning, and I think we were all just hanging out. And then my mom and my Uncle Charlie were like, okay, we're going to go for a walk. Do you guys want to come? So my brother and I would have been, I'm thinking I think I would have been like 8 or 9. But then I also wonder if I was 10. I don't know. So we were youngish. And then my brother's like 20 months older than me. So anyway, so we were kind of like around, I would say around 10, both of us that age. So we were kind of like getting into the almost lazy teenagers. I think we were that. No, maybe we were older. Anyways, okay, whatever. Irrelevant. So we were familiar with bears because there's even stories of, my mom said, when I was really young, when we lived up outside of North Bay, that she remembers looking outside the window and I was just sitting in the raspberry in the raspberry patch, like just outside on our land. And I was just kind of eating raspberries off of the cane. And she said she looked over and there was like a mama bear eating raspberries off the cane as well. Cane? A raspberry cane? Yeah, that's what it's called. So and it was fine. Like, nobody panicked or anything, and I'm here. So clearly it was fine. But that would have been, I don't even remember that. And then I remember we used to go and watch the bears at the dump with my Uncle Charlie on these visits, right? Like when we would go. So that was kind of the extent of my bear interactions. And I wouldn't say I was afraid, but I wouldn't say I was naively friendly with bears. But so yeah, this morning, back to my story, I digress again. My mom and my uncle are like, okay, we're going to take the dog for a walk. And we're like, okay, yeah, no, we're going to stay here. I think we were playing like board games or something I remember sitting on the floor, like in the living room. And so they leave and it's, I don't know, 10 minutes pass. And then we're both just like, okay, let's go for a walk. We're bored. So whenever my uncle walked and my mom, they would always go out of the driveway and they would turn right. and walk down the road to like whatever the certain spot and then turn around and come back. Because you're literally like, it's dirt roads. There aren't many neighbors. You're in the middle of the forest. Like if you've ever heard of Algonquin Park, it's further north than this, but very similar terrain. So you are in the wild. So, anyways, we are like, yep, we get our shoes on or whatever. We step out, we go down the driveway, we turn right because and they had just left, like literally, like I said, well, maybe it was 5-10 minutes because we thought we could catch up with them. And yeah, so we turn right and we start walking, and all of a sudden, we kind of hear something in the bush. So we're walking like on the side of the road, which there's barely any cars. Anyway, so we hear kind of like this rustling sound. So we both stop walking just to wait and see, because there's also like deer and moose and like wolves and coyotes and mountain lions, like cougars. There's all sorts of things up there, like squirrels. There's tiny little things too, right? So we stop, and out from the forest about, I'm trying to think of like measurements, 10, 20, maybe 20 to 30 feet in front of us struts a full size black bear. And we're like, oh my God. So this bear just walks out of the forest looking straight ahead. But then I'm sure he caught our scent, or she, I don't even know what it was, stops walking and turns and looks at us. And at this point, like, I swear my brother read my mind. He was like, don't move. Because there were neighbors kind of across the street from my Uncle Charlie and down a bit, which was really close to where we were, and I could see their house. And basically their house would be in the direction that the bear was going, and it was on our left. And I honestly was like, can I make it to their house in time? And my brother's like, don't you dare move. Like he knew. And I knew better. Like, you don't run from bears. You don't. But in that moment, of all the years, like, of the things I knew, I'm there going, okay, shit. Am I supposed to look at the bear in the eyes to be like, I'm not scared? Or am I supposed to look down because I don't want to threaten it? Am I supposed to make myself look big? Or am I supposed to make myself look small? Am I supposed to be quiet? Or am I supposed to be loud? Am I supposed to run? Or am I supposed to stand still? Like, in this moment, all of these things, and I'm like, I don't even, and back then, bear spray, because when I went to stay with my friend in Alberta, like, everybody carries bear spray. If you're going on a hike, you take bear spray. Back then, I don't even remember bear spray being a thing. It was just not a thing, unless we just didn't know about it. Anyway, so I'm thinking through all of this stuff, and I'm this thing, and my brother's just like talking out of the side of his mouth, because of course he doesn't want to be loud and like alert the bear or scare it or whatever, trigger it. So anyways, this bear is just freaking staring at us. And I'm like, oh, this is it. Like, we're done. We're done. If this bear starts charging at us, like, my brother's a really fast runner. And I'm like, I don't know if I can catch up with him or outrun him so that the bear gets him first. That's so mean. But these are all the things that we're thinking, right? And of course, not really. Whatever. We would have just run. But anyways, so this bear staring at us. The bear finally looks away back in the direction that it was walking, and it continues walking across the road. My brother's like, don't move. And I'm like, okay. Because as soon as it looked away, I wanted to bolt, and he was just like, don't. Just wait. So we waited until it went back into the bush on the other side of the road. We turned around and ran back to the house so quickly. And the whole way we're just like swearing and freaking out. And we're just like, oh my God. So we get back to my uncle's house, run inside, close the door. My mom and my Uncle Charlie are there. And we're like, what are you doing here? We just went to find you. And they're like, we just went for a walk. And we're like, but we just went and we didn't see you. We just saw a bear. And we told them all the things. Anyways, it turns out they decided to turn left that morning on their walk just for a change. Anyways, so yeah, that was the bear encounter. That was probably the closest I have ever been that I recall. And it was terrifying, but it was super cool. And I did see, oh no, that was a moose. I was going to say, I did see a dead one in Algonquin when I was a teenager, but no, that was a moose. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed my bear story. And yeah, have a great day. Peace out. Thanks for hanging out and listening to my wild and wacky Tam Talks. Follow Tam Talks to be notified of new episodes. Peace out.